I know this can be perceived as a bit of a fantasy for most people shooting on the beach, and it is. It's a fantasy for everybody. If you get the opportunity, there's no reason why you can't give it a go. Now we're going to be using a mixture of lights here. We're going to give this a shot with a Ranger. Now while the sun's gone in behind the clouds, we're going to give this a go with the speed light first, just while the sun's gone in, okay? Just to see if we can do it. Now, then we're going to go with the Ranger, all right? And then we're going to really overpower the sun once it starts to come out like a star. So, think about the triangle. Seems like so long ago, but ISO is important here. We've got to keep that nice and low, so I want it to go down to 100. Shutter speed, because of the ambience, it's very bright. I want to go up to my limit, which is 250, 320 if I'm lucky sometimes. We're not shooting with the sun in mind, although if it penetrates through a little bit more, we're going to have to bear that in mind. At the moment, it's nicely diffused behind the clouds. I'm still going to keep my aperture on f8, f11, as long as we're kicking out enough power, it should be okay. Okay, so the first shot we're going to try, while the sun's a little bit diffused behind the clouds, we're going to try it with one speed light, all right, just to show you really the capacity of what we can get out of one flash. Now, we've put up the flash to full power. We've taken all the modifiers off it, so it's got nothing on it. It's just a naked flash. We're putting it in a vertical orientation. And I think we're probably about 3.5, 4 feet from the couple, and we've raised it above them and just angling it down so we're getting as much spill onto the couple as we can. Now, I'm up on 125 ISO just to help that flash, just to give it a little bit of sensitivity in the camera. I'm at 250, okay, and I'm at f11, what do you know? All right, so let's give it a quick go. That's good, guys, right to me, and I'm making sure I'm not getting the sun in the shot, because that will affect what the flash can do. That's pretty good. Just back it off there a little bit. Take it this way, to your left. Okay. You just got to wait for that full power to come back. Okay, that's cool. Now that's not massive impact because we've only got the power of one speed light kicking out, but it just shows if you're in a hurry, it can be done just with one little flash. Okay, now through a lot of the DVD we've covered how to use flash in relatively dark situations, and certainly when it was raining, there's a little bit of sunshine coming out, did a little bit of high speed, which we're going to do in a while as well. We also use flash when it's fantastically sunny. Now, I would have taken the couple down to the pier, we would have found some contained shade, would have done all the lovely walking shots and things like that, but we've got to get our big money shot, and that's what we're looking for to get in this kind of setup, in this kind of situation. You'll be struggling to get really dark skies with 1 or 2 speed lights. You might need a Last Light quad bracket. Certainly with a Quadra you could do it, but we're going to do it with a Ranger. Just show you how quickly, as long as the mind's there, as long as the shot's there in your head, we can just execute it nice and quick, and then we're off down to the next location. Okay, so the sun's still diffused through the clouds now. You will get a nice star of a sun, hopefully a little bit later on we'll be able to get one down further down the beach when the clouds blow away. Put the Ranger on now. We're on the +3, we're on channel 1, we're good to go. I'm on the same ISO, I'm on the same shutter speed, but because we've got more power, I can darken the scene by closing my aperture down, because we're going to kick out a lot more flash. Okay, so I'm going to go down to f22. That's lovely, just hold it there, guys. That's cool. We've really dimmed the scene down now. That looks lovely. That sun had just burned through, which it's trying to. Pretty good star now, so it's nice, the sun's coming through. Now, I'm not a fan of throwing veils in the air, as we saw earlier on, but if it's not windy like it isn't particularly today, sometimes I just get hold of the veil myself, just hold it with one hand and just shoot right through it. Okay, we've got a nice flash there. That's it, guys, keep going. Lovely. Just trying to keep it up. It's a fine line between cheese and loveliness, so we're just getting the flash a little bit higher. Got some nice bit of wind now. Just a little rub nose, guys, because we don't always want to kiss, because we might just lose them, lose their faces. The odd seagull right now would be pretty good. So again, you can always tell when a veil's being held. So sometimes just to hold it yourself, I think it's pretty nice. You just get a little bit of a focal point to take you into the frame. It's quite nice. I'm not into bending brides over and kissing them on the necks, and it's a little bit too fromagey for me. But I think this is just borderline, but it looks really nice. Again, you've got to be careful when you're shooting up on people. You don't want to be shooting up the noses, especially on a wide angle lens like this. Just make sure that you get enough of the lens parallel to the subject. As I'm on a 16-35, I'm just going to go down to about 20. Another 2/50th of a second at f/22. And the wind's doing me a couple of favours here. I'm just waiting for that seagull. We're on the beach, there should be one somewhere. Sweet! Looks pretty good. 100 ISO, 2/50th of a second, f/22. We're just going to do a super quick on-camera flash shot. Now, if you haven't got any off-camera stuff, or if the time doesn't allow for it, or if you're really struggling and the situation is just going to happen so quick and you haven't got time to get the flash off camera, obviously you're going to have to try and get it on camera. The sun is still pretty much right overhead. Now I'm going to do a couple of different shots so you can see the variation and how different it looks. Now obviously I'm working with the Canon system. The Nikon system will be pretty much the same, or other camera systems will be pretty much the same. We're going to use the flash with the high speed, and the Nikon, I know it lives in the menu system in the camera. So first of all, I'm just going to put the camera on program. I'm going to let it default to whatever exposure it thinks it needs. I'm going to leave the needle in the middle. I'm just going to turn the flash gun on without any flash compensation at all. So I'm just letting the camera system just do what it thinks for regular, pretty boring fill-in flash. All right. So just a quick, simple shot. So 250 f/13. I'm going to lower my ISO a little bit because I don't need it 200. I'm going to pop it down to 125. So 250 f/9, which is what I'd expect on a day like today. It's lovely, and it's just pretty Bob standard, but it's enough for what you need. Now I'm going to do high speed. Okay, so on the back of most Canon flashes, you've got a little H symbol with a lightning bolt. Just switch it on. All right. I'm going to go to manual on my camera, and I want to isolate her against her background. f/9 is going to give me too much depth of field, and if I'm using flash on a sunny day in a documentary way, I don't want depth of field. I want minimum depth of field. So I'm going to open up my aperture to 3.2, and I'm going to control the ambience with what? Shutter speed. All right, so let's just give it a quick test on this one. Okay, 5,000 at 3.2, a little dark. 2,500 at 3.2. As a plane goes over. Okay, it's a little bit better. Let's get a little bit of background in so we can see the shallow depth of field. Yep, that's pretty nice. So those are two variations of on-camera flash that we're allowed to play with and are at our disposal. Okay, so high speed, using big apertures to throw the background out of focus, but bringing the ambience back with your shutter speed, and just letting the camera system do it on ETTL on program. We're now going to do a quick one with off-camera high-speed flash. keeping one eye open, see where the flash is falling. That's really nice actually. So the sun again is right behind her. Now most of the time on a sunny day like this, if I'm not using any flash, I'm looking for the sun to be on the back of the subject, and I take my meter reading from the face. So we're using high speed in this situation. Looks really nice, as you're going to see. I'm at 125 ISO, I'm at 3.2, so I'm not shooting as wide as I can, but still giving me a really nice minimum depth of field. We've got the flash on full power, and we've got a Flex TT5 on the camera, and we've got another one under the flash gun, Pocket Wizard. Okay, I'm at 3,200 of a second. So a little look this way, that's it. Nice. And just glance your eyes over to the flash or somewhere near it, that's it, lovely. We are on a beach and there's a dog barking, never mind. Nice. That's lovely. And you'll see from the shot, minimum depth of field, just enough illumination on the subject. We've got it nice and high on a pole, pointing down to the bride. Nice minimum depth of field, 3.2 of an aperture, full power, but I'm controlling everything with off-camera high speed with my shutter speed, hence high speed. Let's get the Groom in there. Let's do a real nice high-speed, shallow depth of field shot with the two of them. Now you've got to make sure that they're both on the same focal plane so as not to blow one out against the other. Oh. Sit down on the job. So you've got to be careful if the ambience changes, but I quite like it if the sun's gone in a little bit because my shutter speed's still fast. I'm still on 3,200th of a second at 3.2, but if the sun goes down a little bit, I need to make sure that I slow down the shutter speed a little bit to allow a bit more ambience in. If I don't, I actually quite like it because it's just underexposing the scene a little bit more and we get a little bit more detail in the background. That's nice. Looks really nice. Extremely simple. We've just got one speed light on a pole on full power. Okay, the zoom ratio on the flash, we haven't spoken about that, but the zoom ratio on the flash is set to 35, so we get a nice wide spread over the subject, and Paul's holding it on a last light pole, and we've got two Flex TT5 Pocket Wizards being used and giving us that high speed capability. I'm on 100 ISO, and I'm fluctuating between 3,200th of a second and 2,500th of a second, but my aperture is pretty much remaining the same, 3.2. Flash subject distance is remaining constant, it's just the ambience is changing, so I'm just making sure I'm controlling that with my shutter speed. Armchair wedding photography, can't beat it. That's lovely. What power are you on? So again, we've got a full power ranger. We're just going to go in line with the sun, really darken it down, make them quite small within the scene. I'm just going to do a quick test on my aperture. A bit closer, Paul. Looks like a toilet roll. We need some veil fluffing. It's going to work if we can get that veil to have some life. I want a blowing veil, for God's sake. Is it too much to ask? Touch noses. Bit close, Paul. Throwing them off to the corner. Crazy with the angle. Get rid of that light that's so close to them. It's quite nice, but it's quite simple yet effective. Just keeping somebody right in the corner. Just making sure they're not too overexposed. What you want to try and do is make a shot that's a bit you, it's more personal. And these kind of flash shots have my style written over it. So take the techniques, take the equipment that you have and try and mould it into something that's you. Shoulder back. Okay. Extra points for the biplane, keep it there. Okay. Okay, let's get down on the beach. Okay, we're gonna have a bit of fun now. Everything's fun. This is extra fun now. I usually do this shot at weddings without flash. I do it when I in really nice shallow depth of field. We get the couple to run or to walk fast down a path, and I'm just shooting from down at the hip. We're going to do a little bit of fill flash here, so I'm going to go high speed on this one. Leave the flash on, ETTL. I'm going to plus a touch into the flash gun, so I'm just going to go +1 on the power, just kick out a little bit more than maybe what we need, just to give it a bit more punch, get rid of those harsh shadows because they're running into the sun. They're going to be looking at each other, so we're going to get neck shadows. You're going to get that, but it's going to be part of it. So high speed on the flash, ETTL, and I'm on aperture priority, so I'm on f3.5 and letting the shutter speed take care of itself because I'm on high speed, so we can kick over to whatever we want. Nice shallow depth of field, ISO 100, and I've taken my focus points onto multi, and we're going to just keep the distance that we need to keep. So a quick test just tells us the distance we need to keep away from the subject in order to get either half the bodies in or the full bodies, and when I'm running I just got to make sure I keep that distance the same. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay guys, when you're ready, just going to run and laugh and look lovely. Okay, go. Okay, try different angles. Keep running, keep going. Too fast! That's it, stay together. Don't fall out of the dress. Ah! Lovely, okay, hold it there. That's what it's all about, just a bit of fun, a bit of fill flash. Looks really nice. Thanks guys, I'm knackered. Okay, so we just came over to the scene to try and do a nice flash shot against the sun, but the sun's really gone really hazy now, so even a ranger won't get rid of that. So sometimes you just got to flip things, go back a little bit, take a deep breath and just think what we could do. So we just put them in one of the squares in this old pier that's on the beach, and just got them to touch, and I've just underexposed, lying on my tummy using the sand feeding me into the shot, and it's a beautiful silhouette. Now alongside some of the flash shots that we've done, that will work fantastically. When you're doing a silhouette, it's best not to have people looking at you because you can't tell what it is, and just have the subjects nice and close together, just touching noses, or just slightly separated the bodies, and we get a nice clean line between them. Flash is great, flash is awesome, flash is where it's at. Sometimes we couldn't get them up, the light isn't, what I wanted it to be, so we just do a nice silhouette. It's just as good, just as beautiful, just mix it up best you can. And that is a wrap.